Hoonigan update is in full swing when it comes to the promotion. In fact, we now know all of the quality of life updates that are coming in the update, and there's one of them that I want to see before I tell you about. In fact, it didn't even take that long. At least that's from what I hear. Is there something to do with those ghost cards right there? Yes, the Hoonigan update has gotten a bunch more teasers today. Not only that, but it's gotten full reveals of what this thing, the actual Hoonicorn looks like in-game. And we've seen the Hoonatron in-game, as well as some massive changes, like finally getting stuff like part switch. So, what am I talking about? Well, I'm just gonna go in and break this all down for you. One, by the way, follow me on Twitter. That's where I am really, really hilarious. Don't even worry about it. Just don't worry, I'm hilarious, okay? But as I was saying, we are going to be jumping into the new changes they made. There's the breakdown, but this is the full article. So, they started by talking about, hey, look, they used a bunch of social media platforms. They also talked about it in the Discord server as well, just to get a bunch of ideas of what to do for quality of life changes. So, first and foremost, we've got players, replayers, I didn't know they had a term for it, a ghost card toggle. So, you can see already that before you would get the ghost cards. There you go. Now, the reason for this was to make the game feel more alive. It was so you could see that the events that you can do in the game, the festival, those events would be played out outside of the festival, like pretended to be played, essentially, to show that those events are going on without you even being there. Those, after, you can now toggle off finally. This is so good for specific things. Like, I've got a channel where I just drive on wheel. People like cruising as well. It's gonna be amazing for that. But there's also stuff like I mentioned, I've got a whole channel where I do driving. I just drive around. That's all this channel is. So this is going to be amazing for videos on this channel, because of course no more ghost AI cars. Then we got car assistant toggle, which is Cara. Does she have an actual acronym? I don't think, does Cara actually stand for something? I don't know. But you can switch guidance on and off. You can switch playlist introduction on and off, and you can switch extra voice lines on and off, which is appreciated. So you can specifically mess with those kind of things. So her talking about the playlist, telling you about how Porsche is manufactured in Stuttgart, Germany, you don't have to hear it anymore. Most of all, stuff like waypoint set. Waypoint is set or whatever. Waypoint rewinding. Mulligan. Let's try that one again. Torture. Truly torture. That's gone. Then finally we have part switching, something that was in the Crew 2 that we did not have before. Before, we had to go manually put the parts on. Now, you can see they've got a whole thing for it. They've even got like a whole UI system for it. You gotta take them all off and then put them on. They didn't actually show how you have to manually go put them on. But there you go. You can see easy swap, and you can see that the Hoonicorn is right there with 1,400 horsepower, barely leveled up, as well as weight and whatnot, everything else. It's all crazy. It's all insane. This thing is very sick looking, and it's confirmed that it's going to be in the drift spec. That's pretty cool, because drift, pretty cool. Then, we got reward flow rework. So, before, this is what the end of an event looks like. It felt very Forza. It felt very trying to be Forza. It felt very, yeah. Now, it actually has some identity. It has its own identity. You can see you get the XP, and then you can still see it, instead of not being able to see it anymore. You got the event difficulty at the bottom. You got the modifiers. You got all of that. You got the money, and then the events, the parts at the end. You can see all the parts you got, instead of only being able to see one, and then the other, and then the other, and then the other. I'm really glad they did this. Not only is it so much more of the game's own identity, but it just is such better. It's a much better UI. I well over prefer this. What do you think, though? Did you prefer the ones before? I mean, the part switching, definite good. Cara off, definite good. Ghost car off, definite good, because these are toggleable. You can keep these on. What do you think about this, though? Because this is a permanent change, right? This is what it will look like now. Then, livery reporting. This was a massive issue. I didn't get around to making a video on it, but I will be making a video on the livery creator as a whole. There's been a massive issue previously with liveries being banned. People will go into the custom show, go to the top 10, and just report the livery. And they would just get banned. In fact, they were getting banned at such a high rate, I just assumed that, oh, okay, they don't have any system to check. They're just banning the first thing. Like, if it gets reported enough, ban. Like, all it would have taken is actually having someone approve the liveries. Have them go to a guy who can look around the whole car and then just click a yes and a no button. Because so many good liveries, great liveries, were getting banned. And that was a massive issue because it even gives the creators of the liveries livery bans. So they can't make one anymore. And finally, they're actually making some changes. But it's changes that confuse me a little. We have changed the rules for moderation to a fairer system. As an example, we have reviewed the criteria for liveries to be deleted. So there was actually a guy. So there actually was a guy who would delete them manually the whole time? Why was he going all willy-nilly? What are you talking about? Who let this guy loose? Then macros and cheating. Again, another big issue. Because people will set up a macro. If you don't know what that is setting up your PC so that it just manually clicks things for you. It just does all the clickety-clacks in the right order, looped endlessly. So you can grind events endlessly. In fact, the best one is up here. The best event in the game isn't actually the best event in the game. That would be like still the Peacock Flats escape. But this speed trap here ends up being actually the best because this is the easiest one to have automatic. You go through it, you respawn, and you're already going the perfect speed to go through it again. Apparently, people who were setting up their controllers to do this automatically, there will be adjustments to this. Like macros cheating. We have already addressed some of these issues with the latest update on October 25th. Yeah, but it didn't do much. We will be adding extra modifications linked to the rewind and accessibility options. We're also working on long-term changes to better control the experience to avoid activities that can be too repetitive, but will also allow to gain. Okay, so that's good in my opinion, because I just keep saying, make the Demo Royale and Grand Race the best for money. Make them the best for money. Make Demo Royale maybe a bit better because that one doesn't have enough players, but make the Demo Royale the best, make the Grand Race the second best. Just make those the best for money. Done. They got nerfed from the beta. Why? Because if these are the best for money, these are the main late game. There's nothing else to do late game. The main stage is an after the fact. The active thing you have to do is play PvP. So make these the best for money instead of letting an event be the best. If you're gonna let the events be the best, well then you're screwed. What you should be doing is actively making the PvP the best. Because if it's an event that's the best, then it will always be just play it over and over again. No matter how much they try, what they have to do is make the PvP game modes the best for money. Whether that's by lowering the money from everything else or raising the money for Grand Race and Demo Royale. My opinion. Improve the global experience of these activities for all players to create a more balanced one. Balanced what? Global experience? I suppose. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what that looks like, right? It's going to be very interesting to see what that looks like. Crossplay. This one's sad. This one's very sad. So, you may know that Grand Race, the Demo Royale, the liveries, and the leaderboards in the summit and events, they're all crossplay. What isn't crossplay is the free drive. You can't see your friends cross-platform on leaderboards. You can't see your friends in the open world. You can't invite your friends on crossplay to a crew, even if you want to play PvP. even if you want to play PvP, you still can't join a crew at all, even if that crew is only while playing PvP. Completely impossible. That's just, and what they've said now, currently we have tech limitations to allow crossplay on free roam because the free drive servers aren't servers, they're peer-to-peer, meaning you connect to one single person in that game. And the online, the demo royale, all of that, that is servers. That's why it's crossplay. For the time being, we aren't looking to add this feature in free drive. That sucks. Like, all in all, downright sucks. It's annoying. It's annoying. Alright, long-term progression. While we love the long-term progression in our game, we don't want to make it too long for our players. We've looked at the data, and we've decided to make some minor changes to the loot experience. That was the major issue in Season 2, but these changes won't be the only ones. We intend to apply updates to the system to have a more balanced experience for the next seasons to come. For more details on these changes, please check the patch notes when they come out next week. That'll be interesting to see, because the biggest issue with the parts was the drop rate of golds. Golds just didn't drop at too high of a density. Enough of a density. Nowhere near enough. And that meant it would take days on days on days to get golds. Especially drag specifically. Because drag has a limited number of events. Especially now that you can't escape grind anymore. I'm so glad I got a drag set before they patched that. Because now you can't do anything with escapes. Escapes bad, and drag events give you 1 part per event. 1 part per 3 runs. Terrible. Terrible. So, they're changing this, and we'll see in a little while. Traffic in Summit feats, this is another sad one. I would say definitely one of the worst, along with crossplay. We believe that the experience of our game is linked to the live aspect, and traffic is a part of it, and we can't bring it, and can bring unpredictability. While the changes coming to replay cause free drive aren't aimed at modifying experiences. Why? Only not the summits. Keep them in free drive. Keep them in free drive, but remove them from the competitive. Unpredictability. No one wants unpredictability in the competitive. What are you talking about? It's the reason there's no traffic in Grand Race. And there's never been traffic in any crew PvP. Because, or the crew 2's PvP at least. Because it's the competitive. Leave it in general. Leave it for the open world feats. But again, it's the competitive. The unpredictability is something you want from the guy driving next to you in Grand Race. Unpredictability is the thing you want from the guy you're fighting in Demo Royale. Unpredictability isn't something you want from the competitive. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What, are you gonna start putting traffic in all the events as well in the summit? As far as I remember, there's no traffic in those events, but I don't know, are they gonna add it? Because that would add some unpredictability. That'd make it feel like a live service. If there was traffic in the event, no, do it. Do it. I say do it. Because sure, have traffic in the open world. If you're driving around the open world, it shouldn't just get rid of all the traffic out of nowhere when you're in the open world. But the summit is the competitive. So obviously, if anywhere's not gonna have traffic, there makes sense. I'm not backing down on this one. Bad reason. Leave it in the open world for that reason. But that's not an excuse to leave it in the competitive. Whatever. So annoying. That's infuriating. PvP, I'm already mad. PvP, they don't mention. Oh, let me quickly. Control F, okay. Demolition. Oh, no matches? Oh, Royale. Oh, no matches? Oh, that's because they didn't mention it once. My favorite game mode in this game, and they're not doing anything. There's so many things I could say that need changing with Demo Royale. Give us emoji. Give us like emote communication. Give us a menu where we can do call-outs that only our team can see. Give us north, south, whatever indicator, a horizontal compass at the top. Remove tire popping. remove tire popping. Tire popping is a bad feature because it can happen at random points and it ruins your entire game. You now can't finish the rest of that game efficiently because you're missing a front right tire. I've been missing both my front tires like upwards of 20 times in Demolition Royale. But they can't know. I mean, there's other changes that I could say to Demo Royale, but that would take too much effort, I suppose. There's stuff like making it so the demolition version of the Hop One monster truck, you get that as a reward for winning your first Demo Royale. Do little things to the PvP. Like, one thing that I think would be cool is if the checkpoints in PvP also updated with the monthly. You know how we have the monthly in the game currently, the weekly, currently the final battle, and the final battle artwork shows up everywhere if you play a race, and the summit, and if you revisit with that. Do that to the PvP. Add a bunch of Motorfest assets to the PvP. So when you're in a week, you can see while playing the PvP, oh, this is the week we're in currently. Little change, but still, it stands. But they mentioned Grand Race, and they're like, we're adding new layers to it. Quality of the existing experience before adding new layers. Yeah, that makes sense, I suppose. Again, then they don't talk about Demo Royale. Demo Royale has a quality issue right now. It's a great game mode, but why is tire popping a thing? Why is why is there no compass, horizontal compass at the top, with showing the different things and whatnot, showing your teammates? Fix the fact that not all of your teammates will show up orange on the minimap every now and then, like, all the time. Actually, I've had it like twice where I've actually been able to see on the minimap all of my teammates as orange on the minimap. Fix that. That's a quality issue. Fix that. Fix the again, I say this, maybe they have, but they've not mentioned anything about it. It feels like a neglected game mode, which sucks, because I love that game mode. And fix give us crew comms, right? That's not an extra layer, that's just something that would come in handy. Help, here, on me, going zone, help again. He's low. Broke shield. It does say if you broke shield, to be fair. That one's an automatic one. That one already does that. But, again, stuff like that. Broke shield. Help. Need loot. Need health. Anything like that. Will they? No, I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, I want them to, because I like Demo Royale. Maybe I'll make a competitive league for Demo Royale. Seeing that thing was nice, the Hoonigan, and also then we have the first look at this. I probably should have shown this at the beginning, but there is the Hoonatron. Pretty cool. That's the car that people like, actually. And yeah, it's pretty sick. I've seen it in game. I mean, I would think it's a lot cooler if I hadn't just spent the last 20 minutes ranting, right? I'd think this thing is a lot cooler if I hadn't just been, you know, whatevering. We don't actually know the spec of this thing, but it does have slicks on. Does the Hoonigan in the images we've seen, does that thing have slicks on? Oh, it does. Okay, maybe it's drift then. Okay, sweet. It might be drift. That's the first time that that's one of the few times that a spec has had a car which doesn't have the right tires for that spec. Whatever, though. That's about it from me. Thank you to popular members, a special thanks to famous members, and an insane thank you to star members, Danimal, the Manimal, Grim Pepper, and an insane top of the top thank you to Icon members, HK. I'll see you boys in the next one. That's about it from me in a bit.